Welcome to Here for the Horses. Glad you are here for the horses. We were just talking about learning experiences when you're exposing your horse to new things. So I had kind of a wild parade experience with Georgia, and so I thought I would share some some video just showing that it could have been worse. It could have been worse. Let me show it to you. Here we go. I just send these to my queen now because, you know, look at that. Over the top of them. It's wild. Wild. Here I got one more that I sent to her as a joke. And I think let's see what my comment was. Yeah, here's my comment. I said, hey, it looks like us at the Enumclaw Road or at the Enumclaw Parade. Because I'm always a smartass too. This was, this was, I wouldn't say it was accurate, but there was some similarities, we'll say. Look at that. And then they're just laughing. Ha 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 ha. Look at, there he goes. Just a wild card. Wild card. So there you go. I don't know. I really try to avoid all that when I can, but sometimes you got to get outside your comfort zone. Okay, so as we were discussing, we are going to be talking about this book today. Raise your hand or your little hand down here under the react button. For those of you that are new, there's the react button at the bottom and you can raise your hand. Raise your hand if you have this book. And it's by that name. That book. It's good. It's good. We're going to be talking about it today. Okay. And I like it. You can tell that in these pictures, he's doing some of the stretches that I say I don't like when people do. I don't teach these because, you know, it's fine if a professional is going to do them, but I have seen people look at stuff and then kind of make their own version of it. And if you don't have feel and timing and you start doing stretches like that, you could get into some problems. Okay. But this is a great book. I do not know how to say that last name. So if anyone does know how to say it, feel free. I like it because the first chapter is on anatomy and physiology of the horse. So he talks about the nervous system, respiratory system, circular system, the endocrine, digestive, urinary, reproductive, and then he talks about the skeletal system and the muscular system. Obviously, those are going to take up more. Okay. And then he talks to how horses respond to massage therapy, when to massage your horse, the duration of a massage, how to approach the horse you want to massage, or let's see what he says here. That'll be interesting. You guys know how I approach a horse? 45. Or maybe you don't. See, I see some names I don't know. Let's see. Oh, okay. How to approach the horse you want to massage. Your first contact, the actual first few minutes with the horse, is crucial. The situation requires awareness, some common sense, and a lot of horse sense. If you approach the horse with an understanding of his nature and immediately make him feel secure, he will trust you very quickly. It is recommended that you observe a horse briefly before actually approaching him. That's great advice. Okay. Try to determine which dominance he is displaying in his character, visual or auditory. He talks about that earlier. Okay. A visual horse loves company and will be much easier to approach. That would be Chester. Who has a visual horse? Marge, you probably do. Zanzibar is probably visual.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nancy, you probably have one in your herd. Kristen, maybe? Okay. An auditory horse is very perceptive, pays more attention to noise, and will be more difficult to reach. Georgia. Who's got a, what does he call it? Auditory horse. Yeah, you do, Kristen. Leanne, let's see. You probably have both, Leanne, don't you think?
Yeah, I think Buckaroo is probably a little more visual and Mystic Knight of the young ones is a little more auditory.
Yep, I
So
agree.
with the older ones, they're so mellow. I can't tell now. When they were younger, I would say Ellie was very auditory because she was hyper alert all the time,
Yeah, the
absorbs
garter.
everything in her. But we didn't get Adobe till he was 14, and once he settled down to us, I don't know.
Yeah. Robin, what's rhythm? Auditory, probably. I bet. She reminds me of my mare.
I mean, I don't know, she's very stoic, you know? She just,
Yeah. Does
um,
she come up to you when you go out there?
yes, yeah,
Oh, okay, maybe she's not. Maybe she's visionary,
yeah.
visual. Okay. So that's interesting. That's something we can talk about next week. So pay attention. Let's see if we can identify both of all of our horses, okay? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so that'll be one of our homework. So let me read it again in case you need to hear it. Let's see. Try to determine which, he calls it a dominance, he is displaying in his character, visual or auditory. A visual horse loves company, that could probably be a giveaway, and will be much easier to approach. An auditory horse is very perceptive, pays more attention to noises, and will be more difficult to reach. Okay, I have two
Okay.
visual horses and one auditory because my Borders horse is a visual also. Okay. They also have a picture of a tense horse and a relaxed horse. We all know this one, right? Don't be fooled though. Let me see if I can. Just because their head is down does not mean they're relaxed. Okay. So just remember that their head can be down and they can be tense. So, but in general, okay. Da, da, da. First of all, ensure that you are calm and relaxed. Oops, that's a great tip. When you go out to massage your horse, make sure you are calm and relaxed. If you're in a hurry, either choose to do just one section or one part, or choose to just spend the 5 minutes doing relaxation. Don't try to rush massage. It's just like rushing training. It doesn't work. Okay. Let's see. Make sure you're calm and relaxed. Do not start when you're stressed, anxious, tired, or fearful. Your feelings will be, actually, let's apply that to loading a horse in a trailer, shall we? Let's do that. Let's apply that to loading a horse in a trailer. Do not load a horse in a trailer when you are stressed, anxious, tired, or fearful. Okay? That just means you need to practice. Your feelings will be communicated to the animal through your touch. 100%. Okay? For those of you who just joined us, we're taking a look at this book here. Okay? You guys can do a screenshot if you want. I'll get my face out of it. Okay? Speak softly and kindly to your horse as you approach them. That's good advice. Do not stand in front of them. That's good advice. I will occasionally, but remember, if I'm in front, there's always a hand on the halter here. My other hand's here. Because if they're going to do something, the nose is going to come up and pop you. Or it's going to go to a side and pop you. So your hand needs to be on the top, and then you can work in the front if you have to, but in general, you can stand to the side. Okay,
You got chicken wrap bacon or veggie.
once your horse has acknowledged you, quietly raise your right hand. Ooh, that's very specific. You're giving your natural giving hand to his nose and lightly massage the face. So um that's similar to what Jeremy and Wanda were talking about, the cowboy's handshake when you go to visit a horse, right? Put your hand out and say hello. Say hello. Let them smell your hand. Now, some horses, and we've talked about this, they're not going to smell you. Yours probably will, most of your horses. But some horses are not going to smell you. That's okay. You have offered it. The offer did not go unnoticed. Okay? It didn't go unnoticed. They can smell you later and they will. They will, once you start making them feel good, all of a sudden they'll want to get that information from you about who you are, you know, your phone number, your card, all that. They want all that. Okay? The first hand contact needs to be very warm, thoughtful, rich in feeling and vibration. I like this guy. Okay? And then he says you can proceed with your massage. So generally, what stroke, those of you guys that have been around, what stroke, if you were to do a massage, would you start with? What's it called? It's not in what he's going to talk about. Yep, Wanda just mouthed it. Yep, Kristen knows. It's called effleurage. It's the fancy French word that you need to get into. Oh, I'll tell you what I did the other day. It's a fancy French word that you can work into your everyday conversations. Effleurage is normally two hands, open, soft, warm. Slowly stroking, keeping one hand on the body at all times. Okay? Run your hands all over the horse's body. What are you doing there? You're doing a lot of things. Okay? Somebody tell me in the chat, what are you doing there? What's the point of effleurage? Warming up the fascia, that's correct. Checking for tension spots, that is correct. What else? Effleurage is great for a lot of stuff. One more. I mean, there's a lot more. One more. Comfort. Yeah, totally. So you're introducing yourself to the horse. You're preparing them, making contact with your horse in a relaxing, communicative way. Yes, thank you, Robin. Yes, you are introducing yourself to your horse, whatever horse, letting them know that you are going to be, touching them, first of all. Okay. Giving them comfort, like Melinda said. Effleurage can be very comforting because it's slow, warm, and it's relaxed. What a great way to start, right? A while back we talked about homework. All of our homework was to get a massage. Y'all remember that homework? Well, how did the masseuse start with you? They didn't go into pounding right off the bat, did they? Mm-mm. They normally start with you on your stomach and they'll slowly rub your back in one way or another. Okay. They'll just kind of open you up to the idea of being touched in case you're weird about it. Some people are. I have a friend that I know she wouldn't be able to make it through a massage. I know she wouldn't. She'd be crawling out of her own skin. Okay. So you're communicating to the horse that you are going to be touching them. You're getting them used to the idea. You're getting them used to the touch. You're relaxing them with that warm hand, releasing some of the fascia. Huge thing is you're gathering information. So they benefit from a lot of things. You're helping them relax, you're helping them know that they're going to be massaged, but you benefit too, because now you have a picture of what you're going to do on that horse. That horse's body is going to tell you what you need to do, where the tight spots are, where the skin doesn't move, where is the fascia tight, where did their skin go like that, where do they move away, where do they push into you. Okay, all those things are going to tell you a lot. Do they clamp their tail down when you run your hand over their tail? That's part of it. That's tension. Are they more sensitive on one side than the other? Is one side tighter than the other? You're going to find all that out in effleurage. It's interesting how one side of a horse can be significantly tighter than the other. Because I'll show up, start massaging a horse, and I'll be like, oh, they feel pretty good. Flip to the other side, and I'm like, never mind. I'm here for a reason. It's this side. I'm here for the right side. The left side's fine, right? Okay. So that's effleurage. So that's a great way to start a massage. All right. Gives you a game plan too. There's some other cool sections of this book. There's some massage do's and don'ts. Let's talk about those real quick. Let's see what I do here. Do evaluate the horse by checking his vitals, pulse, temperature, eyes, and breathing. I don't do that. I don't have time to do that. I do not have time to do that. Okay. Be sure there are no contraindications. I do expect the owner to know if there are contraindications. Okay. So I expect them to know if their horse is sick. If I show up and they tell me they've been lethargic, I go, oh, I'm probably not going to massage them then. Because if they're lethargic because of a infection, I certainly don't want to be responsible for spreading that infection around. Okay. A lot of times I'm the one that finds the cuts, but if the owner knows about cuts, then I do expect them to tell me about those. I find them a lot of the time, so I don't worry too much. Work in a large space free from obstacles. Remove distracting objects such as boxes, shovels, blankets, and ropes. That's good advice. Sometimes you don't really get to choose where you work though. So that can be difficult. Do keep small pets away. That's a great tip. Everybody loves their own dogs, right? But when you are working with a horse, it is really annoying when their dog is running around. Super annoying. And it's great because my trainer comes over to my house and when I'm out in the arena, with her and she's training me and my dog comes out there, she'll go, "Get out of here." And I love it because I don't want that distraction. I don't want any issues with it. It's my dog. So I mean, I tell them to put her away, but yeah, she doesn't like, my trainer doesn't like dogs out there either, you know? So I agree with that one. I've had dogs like literally like walking underneath the horse when I'm massaging them, and I'm just like, "Are you serious? Get out of here." And I just say it. I mean, I don't care. I just get them out of here, but it's just odd that you'd be okay with that. Avoid small stalls. I agree. Use the barn aisle or an arena. The barn aisle if your horse is comfortable in it. Arena if there aren't other horses out there trying to get work done. See, that's a courtesy I do for other people. Like, I don't want to work in an arena if somebody's out there trying to ride. That's annoying to them. Okay. So I like a paddock or a pasture. Those are my favorite. Sue Hawkins just put up a post about that too. She was doing some work out there, so. Do maintain a soothing atmosphere, not too much traffic, not too much noise. That can be out of your control sometimes. Do have somebody hold the horse by the halter or the lead rope. I disagree. I'll handle it, thanks. Handlers can be a major distraction to horses. And then or they get into like a little bickering thing. It's really funny. I normally hold the horse. Do secure your horse between cross ties if no one else is around. I completely disagree. I don't do that. I don't like cross ties at all. I feel like it tells the horse not to talk, so I don't do cross ties. Do clean your horse before starting the massage. Again, not always something you can control. I mean, if it's your horse, you can, but when I show up, I don't get mad if the horse is dirty. It's fine. When they're soaking wet, that's a problem, but dirty doesn't bother me. Do begin the massage with light pressure, yeah. Do keep your fingernails short and avoid wearing jewelry. Okay. Do keep talking to the animal throughout the treatment. That's nice. Do pay attention. I talk too much though, so I should have the opposite. Do pay attention to the feedback signs from the horse, ears, eyes, feet, tail. Yes. Do keep record of your observations. Yes. Yes. You know what irritates me is when I spend time filling these sheets out and people like toss them or they just have them crumpled up in their locker. It's like, I am giving you some awesome information on your sheets. Make a little folder and put your horse's name on it and then like put a sticker on it and be like massage, chiro, you know, if you want to put your vet in there too, massage and chiro should go in there. Just because you'll be able to go back and look at it. And then you will also be able to tell the change in your horse over time. Keep those sheets. And every practitioner should be giving you a sheet. They don't though. It's illegal in Washington to not give a sheet. But chiros can get in a lot of trouble, I think, for not giving a sheet. But everyone should give a sheet if you're having work done. Okay. And do establish a treatment and exercise schedule for the following weeks of recovery. I agree. Don't just one and done it unless literally that's it. That would be surprising though. Okay. Here are some of the don'ts. Don't disregard physiological signs of contraindications. Yeah. Don't work in narrow space. I agree. Falling objects. Don't work around falling objects. I agree. Don't stand between a horse and a wall as you work between them. You can be squeezed. I'm in Enumclaw, Washington. I don't know, you can't be too picky, right? Like I've worked in stalls before and sometimes I get in between a wall and a horse, you know. It depends on the horse. Be smart. Don't allow loud music, commotion, or smoking, especially when dealing with an auditory animal. Can't always control that. Okay? Can't always control that. Don't work a dirty horse, one with mud or manure on his body. There goes half of my clients. Good luck. I'm in Washington State in the winter. It's wet. Yeah. They're muddy. I don't care. I'm gonna work on them. Okay. Don't work hastily, too quickly, or too forcefully. I agree. Although some people don't like my work because I, you know, do deeper work. And I think it's interesting that people can be like, you're being too hard on them. I'm like, this is nothing. Like, I don't even show videos where I'm actually like working a horse over. So that's kind of funny to me. But a lot of times that's coming from people who do like the super, super quiet work, which is great. It has its place. But I'll tell you what, if you need deep work done, that super quiet work, it's not going to get it done. So that's when I come in. Okay, so I don't poo-poo other people's work just because it's all very useful depending on the horse. But every horse needs something different, so you better have a big tool bag. Okay, don't talk loudly or shout. Well, again, I've had to yell at other horses and my dogs when I'm working on them, so that's I like that train of thought. I work that train on. a thought. How can I tell when I need to go deep? Because the deep muscles are the ones that aren't moving. So especially on the glutes, if you have the glutes and the top of the glutes are working and moving, but your horse has a sore back or their leg won't come forward, it's because the muscles are deeper. So you have to focus on going through the top muscles to the deeper muscles. Okay, that's a good question, Brenda. You have to go through the top muscles to the deeper muscles. If you have done my leg range of motion and some of the some of the leg won't, like, even if the leg won't go forward, but if it won't go kind of out, or if you do a circle with the leg range of motion and it won't go one direction, the adductors are deep. You're getting up in there. If your horse's lateral flexion in the neck isn't working properly, sometimes you have to go deeper. That soft stuff is great if your horse can respond to it. But what if there's like trigger points, and what if there's stress points, and what if there's fascia that's stuck? You have to work it over. Okay. And I don't try to go there first, although horses love it, so I don't really shy away from it either, as most of you guys already know. Okay, don't allow cats, dogs, or other pets to wander around your work area. Prevent the intrusion before the okay. Again, you can't always control it. I had a chicken, no joke, that was going, it was in this barn, and it was actually the barn that I got Chester from, and it was going back and forth above my head like 5 feet. And I was working on this little gray Arabian named Lily. You guys have probably seen videos of her. This chicken going back and forth. Now, I know chickens, when they go back and forth like that, they're trying to find where they're going to jump down. And I'm like, this chicken is going to jump down on us while I'm working on this horse. It sure did. It just took 5 minutes, and the horse shot out of there. But I knew it was going to happen, so I was kind of prepared. But yeah, you can't control everything, but be smart. So because I was paying attention to that, I was staying out of the, because what's the horse going to do? It's going to shoot out the door into the paddock. So I stayed out of that little path, and it worked just fine. And I had the horse facing shooting out. So it can just go, and it doesn't have to run over the top of me to turn around. That was my it worked. It worked. Let's see. Don't use heavy pressure to begin with. True. Don't ignore the horse's body language. True. Don't think negatively. Oh, I like this guy. Don't think negatively. Yeah, that's a good one. Don't be angry or in a bad mood when working on the horse. That's a good one. Okay. Safety tips: wear large size clothes to give yourself freedom of movement. I mean, wear whatever you want. I don't see too many people out there wearing super tight clothes when they're doing stuff. Wear strong boots. You could be stepped on. Yeah, we all know that, don't we? And you still see people out there wearing light shoes or sandals, man. Whoo! Sandals. Sandals are one that are like driving in a car without a seatbelt on. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I cannot do it. And then in cold weather, wear gloves. I don't wear gloves to thin leather so you do not lose the touch. I don't wear gloves. I feel like it takes away from me. Okay. Any other ones that you guys can think of that you implement? Don't have expectations. Perfect. Perfect. In anything, to be honest with you, if you don't have expectations, life is good. Words of affirmation. Excellent, Melinda. Excellent. Yeah, Leanne.
I think I'm on. So I always have my herd out in the arena. And that's probably not the best thing because I know I'm pretty good, but I still get situations where one gets a little wound up, and as soon as one gets wound up, phew, they all go. And yet, I kind of like having them all there. So I guess it's a balance. But if I start hearing, too much going on, I usually stop. But
Yeah.
I used to always do the one in the round pen that I was working on, but it just too much time going back and forth and getting the next horse. And I have kind of my little place. Buckaroo's the worst. He likes to encroach.
You know what? I will do if I'm doing horses outside in a paddock, I will do, and even if they have a partner out there, I will do them out there. And if a horse comes over, I take the lead rope and I tell them to go away. Okay. So, and I know you do that. I know, but I want to talk about why that is effective. One, who's the leader? That just set me up as the leader of not only the horse I'm working on, but the other horse. So boss mare, that's me. Okay. It also, this is something I learned from, was it Molly? Barb Apple? Barb Apple. She's a Pirelli instructor too, or was. It tells the horse I'm working on that I'm not going to let the other horse bother us. Okay. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Now, I learned that, as I said, in a clinic, because, you have multiple horses and people, right? And we're all standing around in a circle. And one horse would come over to smell this horse. And then the owner of this horse would drag that horse away. But what she was saying is this owner tells that horse to go away. Because then it sets up that this owner is protecting their horse. So it was really interesting. So I applied that to massage. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that's just one thing that made me think of that when you said that. Anything else? That was good. Yeah. Okay. All right. This guy's funny. These photos, he's wearing like riding boots. Now I know those are not comfortable to be wearing around like that. They're like up to his knees. He's like, you never know when you got to jump on a horse. Okay. So I also wanted to show you, I was trying to look up how to say this guy's name because I'll just butcher it if I don't. And I found that he has a website. So let me pull it up and I'll screen share it with you guys. So he has a website and he has, oops, that can go away. It's probably been playing 900 times. Oop. Oh, here it is. Okay. So he offers a lot of stuff. Massage Awareness Incorporated. He does, what's it called? When you learn, you keep learning, extended learning? No, it's called something else. I'll think of it in a second. Continued education. He does continued education. Okay. He has his phone number on there too. That's pretty wild. Okay, so that's his website if you guys want to look at it. I'm gonna check that out later because there's a couple things I wanna take. I don't know if I'll take it from
On
him,
this
but
website at the bottom, it says that this website is no longer active. You can follow him, his name. New
oh
adventure,
really?
new website, animalmassageawareness.com.
Oh. Animal massage.com. Oh, right here?
Evidently.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh yeah, there it is. Nice. He does dogs too. Thanks, Leanne. Some courses. That'd be fun. All right, I'll let you guys explore that yourselves if you want. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about today is this is chapter 5 of this book. Okay, and it's called Massage Techniques. Let's see. The massage techniques in this chapter have been developed to further your knowledge and to provide you with guidelines for the best course of treatment for muscle problems. These techniques will prevent aggravation of those problems, speed up the healing process, and ensure proper recovery. The techniques are the thumb technique, the elbow technique, the swelling technique, and this is to deal with edema. The trigger point technique to deal with lactic acid buildup. Is that true? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because that gets into the, well, the neuromuscular technique to deal with weak or strong muscles. Ooh, that's interesting. A stress point technique to deal with small spasms. That could also be a trigger point. We'll see what it says. The origin insertion technique to deal with chronic muscle contractures, full spasms, or weak muscles. The SEW dash WES, WES approach to ensure adequate warm up before a treatment and adequate drainage following a treatment. Oh, that's cool. All right, so let's take a look at some of these here. The thumb technique. Are we ready? Now, your homework is going to be to try some of these techniques. The thumb technique plays a very important role in massage movements, in palpation, and in assessing the structures to be treated. Due to its shape, strength, and versatility, the thumb is a key player in most of your massage moves. That's where I kind of disagreed because I use my palm a lot. Oh, I don't know though. I also use my, maybe. I'll have to pay attention now. It's a key player. It's a key player. It's one of the key players. It is your most valuable tool for deep work friction. Yeah, that's probably true. The thumb should be held at 90-degree angle when working. You can use the tip of your thumb like a probe, or you can use the tip's medial or lateral aspects to make contact with angled surfaces. The thumb technique is very useful when performing specific localized work. Never use the thumb without warming up the area to be treated, stroking, effleurage, or kneading. For more general, less local, or less specific work, you can use the broad surface of your thumb. The thumb's extreme flexibility allows you to modify the direction of your movement and the force used. Okay, so, oh yeah. So he shows two techniques. Straight thumb, reinforced with fingers. I use this one a lot. That's why I was thinking, is it my favorite? No, I use this a lot. Because you start using your thumb too much, and your thumb starts going like this. It bends a lot. So that's when you start hitting it like this, and you're using the tips of both fingers and the tip of the thumb. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. So here's his photo. It's pretty cute. Okay. Okay. This is interesting. He says that because of its highly developed sensory nerve endings, your thumb sends messages directly to your brain. If you close your eyes during thumb palpation or indeed during any other work, you will feel minute changes in the tissue. I mean, I wouldn't say that that has to do with the thumb, but yeah, you will. To maximize the strength of your thumb, use your body weight. He says any pressure above 25 pounds may bruise the muscle. That would be really hard to do with your thumb. I mean, men might be able to do that a lot easier, but that'd be hard to do. That would not feel good on you. Okay? If your thumb is not strong enough, you can resort to using your index finger reinforced with your thumb and your middle finger. I use that a lot. I probably prefer that over just my thumb. The only time I use my thumb is when I'm going down the rib cage, because that works really well. Okay. The elbow technique. I do not use this one very often, although I did use it the other day. Okay. So I use this one when I'm working on very large horses. I have a video I'm gonna send out of a horse named Stella. She's big, she's a big girl. So I was doing this technique, that top one. And that's because you can use your whole upper body to press down. Okay, so you only have so much you can press down with your arm, but if you got elbow, you got your whole upper body. Okay, so let's hear what he has to say. The elbow technique can be used in two different ways. One way is to use the elbow and the forearm to stroke large muscle groups like an effleurage. Okay, so that's going to be flatter, boom. Okay, flatter, great on the glutes, great on the back, kind of hard on the neck, sometimes down the shoulder, and then also down the hamstrings. Okay. This allows more efficient coverage of larger surfaces and it delivers a nice soothing feel to the horse. That is true. When using elbow techniques to stroke, give the horse an idea of what you're doing without shocking them. Make your first pass extremely gentle, 2 to 3 pounds, then work progressively deeper with each. Okay, this technique is very mechanical. It will trigger a massive reaction stimulating circulation and loosening muscle fibers, tendons, and ligaments. Your elbow is a large, strong bone. Use it wisely and carefully. Pay attention to the animal's feedback. That's very important. Don't do this on like the loin or the rib shelf toward the flank. That's too sensitive. You're going to hit some trigger points. It's not going to feel great. Pay attention. You can use the flat one, but don't use your elbow. Don't use just your elbow. Pay attention to the animal's feedback and signs. Yeah. The other way to use the elbow technique is to use the tip of your elbow to apply heavy pressure over stress points or trigger points on large muscle groups. For example, hindquarters or back muscles. I've never used it for a trigger point. I'm very specific about my fingers with trigger points, but you can give it a try. You can give it a try. Do not exceed 25 pounds. I mean, if you know what 25 pounds feels like. Standing on a stool, if you're doing work high and then working down, you're going to want to stand on a stool. Stand on something sturdy though. Don't stand on some rickety old thing. Buckets are not the best. I've used them, but they're not the best. And then there's some like metal ladders that aren't the best either. Okay. All right. The swelling technique. A swelling results from trauma such as a sprain, a strain, a wound, kick, inflammation, or overwork, or a flare-up of an old injury because of increased amounts of fluid, lymph, or blood come to the affected area. An excess of fluid increases tension in the skin and renders it very sensitive to touch. The temperature of the swollen area may be higher than normal relative to the degree of inflammation. Use a very light amount of pressure, 1 to 3 pounds, to avoid mechanical stress on the skin and deeper tissues. Okay, before applying the swelling technique described below, first apply hydrotherapy. Okay, hydrotherapy. The ice cup, whoa. When the case calls for cold hydrotherapy, the ice cup massage is terrific. Practical technique used with swelling. Oh, okay. I was like, what is he talking about? So I'm gonna issue a statement. If there is swelling on a horse, you better make sure it's not something that you shouldn't be touching. So if there's swelling on one of my clients, I want them to know what that is before I mess with it. So if the vet has said this is, edema, okay. If they've said this is just fluid that's built up, okay. If it is hot, I'm not touching it. Not touching it. Okay. Anything that could be an infection, I'm not touching it. So swelling, I'm very careful with. I don't mess with it a lot. I want to know what a vet says about it before I mess with it. And then I'm going to ask the vet specifically, can I massage this? And you'd be surprised how many vets go, it should be all right. I still won't massage it. Unless I get a straight, oh no, you can massage it and probably help it. I won't touch it. Okay? So be very careful with any swelling. Okay, so let's see here. The swelling technique starts with some light stroking moves over the body to relax the animal. Then apply light stroking over the swollen area to soothe the irritated nerve endings. Your rhythm should be at a relaxed pace or one or more per second. I don't know what that is. When the initial tenderness seems to be relieved, you can use a final vibration movement to stimulate the circulation, then resume the light strokes. Okay, so he does it, he starts in the center and works his way out. Okay. Start in the center, work your way out. Pressing that fluid out. All right. Circular, press it out as you go. This will help stimulate circulation and begin the draining process. Oh, this is interesting. Next, proceed with a very gentle double thumb kneading massage at the edge of the swelling, going clockwise around the damaged area and draining excess fluid toward the outside of the swollen area. I always want to know why people say a certain direction, and rarely do people give me an answer. Always start on the outside, not at the center. Oh! That was, okay, start at the outside, guys, not at the center. Start at the outside. That's interesting. Use 3 to 5 pounds of pressure or less if the skin is very tight or tender. Start at the outside and work your way to the center. Okay. Duration, 5 to 10 minutes. Do not exceed 20 minutes. It is best to do a small treatment over the course of 1 to 2 days. When dealing with swelling of the lower leg, first gently but thoroughly massage the upper leg to stimulate circulation. Agreed. Do not exceed 20 minutes. Following the swelling technique with a cold therapy, hydrotherapy, to reduce nerve irritation and cause vasoconstriction to further the drainage effect. Okay. Yeah, Leanne.
So this made me think of something I'd had an issue with recently. These young horses are constantly, I don't know if they kick one another or if they step on one another, but they constantly have swelling. And I do have some wraps for around the lower leg or could do around the knee. But I remember saying to my daughter not too long ago, my problem is there's so many places on a horse that could have swelling that I have no way of icing it. And
Yeah.
when you were reading that, it just reminded me that, and this has been years ago, 30 years ago more, that I had a back spasm and they had those little paper Dixie cups in there that they would just keep in the freezer with water. And then they would just tear the paper out and hold that.
Oh, yeah.
And I hadn't thought about that for years because that would be an easy way to run some cool,
Yeah.
over a bigger area that can't necessarily be wrapped with a cold pack.
Yeah. Cold hose is always good too. It's just wasting water, but cold
Mhm.
hose works good. Yeah, those cups, I've seen those cups before. It's a
Yeah,
good
I
idea.
hadn't thought about it for years because I'm like, I paid to go to have that done. I do that at home.
Like, don't. Yep. Okay. 6 o'clock already. We're gonna follow up with this next week, I think. We'll keep going. We'll do the trigger point therapy. We'll do the neuromuscular technique. The Golgi. Ooh, I love the Golgi nerve apparatus. We'll talk about that. Muscle spindle, stress points. I definitely want to talk about stress points, and that's going to lead me into another person that you can follow if you want to. Stress point therapy is really cool, really cool. I'll have to dig out my charts on that. Similar to trigger points, but they're closer to the muscular tendinous junction. They also are more likely to cause an injury. So stress points are really cool. We'll talk about that. Muscle spindles. All right. So that'll be next week. Boom, from this book. All right. I did see Karen, I saw that you just got the clinic. Good for you. Welcome. And I know that you just got put into the coaching community too. So that's awesome. Obviously, let me know if you have any questions. Karen just got the clinic. Well, it's either today or yesterday. But I have an online clinic for everyone who wants to learn massage from beginning, from the tips of their ears to their bottom of their feet. Okay, so I'll put the clinic here in the chat. Here's the clinic. I'll write it down. Oops. And when you get the clinic, it's really cool because this group Sunday group is always free. We're always going to let everybody in here just to learn about stuff. But with the online clinic, you get to be part of the coaching community Facebook page, which is probably the best around, I think. It's just so awesome to watch people learn and work on their horses. And we do Journey Through the Horse once a year where you get to submit videos. You can bring questions there. Melinda just put a funny post up today. So it's kind of our own personal little private group that nobody gets to come into. And it's fantastic. So if you are if you have my online clinic, then you also get into that. And you have my online clinic forever. So that's lifetime. We also have an exciting, been on vacation, so I need to catch up on some videos. Yeah, no worries. They're always there. So you can even go back a couple years. We have, well, another thing I want to show you is I have a home page. It has all my stuff on it, most of it. It's not organized the way that I want to organize it yet, but I am working on it, so I'll put that in here too. So if you want to know what I have available, all my ebooks are on there, my clinic's on there, the sore back series is on there. Getting on my newsletter is on there, anything like that. So that's that. And then we are launching the I call it a coffee conversation, but it's the winning your farrier's heart, easing tension for better hoof care. It's a 1 hour webinar that was cut down from 2 hours, and that was not easy, you guys, not easy. I am gonna release that 2 hour though, because I feel like we're missing out on stuff with the longer version. So if you want the longer version, I'm gonna put that on there also. But here is the, better, I'll just put better hoof care. If you want some help with your horse, having some hard times with their feet, I, talked with, Wanda and her husband Jeremy. Great team that work together and have been making big changes. So that is available right there. That's free. You can watch that webinar. There's also information at the end of it where you can set up a consultation with Jeremy. If you need particular help with your own horse, there's also, I put together a bundle of the videos that Jeremy and Wanda use the most. And those would be available for you at the end also. Okay, so check those out. Awesome webinar. I'm going to start putting up some posts about that. So you'll see it even if you don't get it today. You'll see it on my public page, Winning Your Horse's Heart. So check that out. Any questions? Any questions before we end? That hour went fast. It went fast. Okay. All right, well, you guys have homework. Try a couple of those techniques. Try either, we'll narrow it down. Try either the elbow technique, and what I think would be interesting is if you're raking your horse's glutes, the big old hind end there, and you come across a spot that like the whole thing kind of sinks down like a little plate as you go across it, I want you to try the elbow technique on that spot and see if you, and just hold it, use some of your body weight, be up higher, pressing down, or use the sweeping one to see if you can get the whole glute to relax. That would be another great homework. So use that technique. And then also I want you to do effleurage. He didn't talk about that in his book, but I want you to do effleurage on your horse, and I want you to tell me what you found out. What'd you find out? I was just doing effleurage on Chester about an hour ago, 2 hours ago, and it was really interesting how much better his body is. He used to just have a lot of issues when I first got him, and he's just doing excellent. So it's a great way to kind of keep track on your horse and see how they're doing. So do the effleurage, and then you can also try the thumb technique. So try the different, that's, oh, I just noticed I even support it like this sometimes. That's more of what I do probably. I just figured that out when I looked in my thing. Okay, so the thumb technique, you can try to do it singular if you got strong thumbs, but I always brace it. And then if I really need help, I do it like that. Okay, try the thumb technique. You're welcome, Paula. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. All right, so we'll continue on with this next week and we'll go from there. Let me know how it goes this week though, yeah? All right, talk to you guys later. Bye. Thank you. Bye.